What's up, you guys? Anthony here. In this video, I want to show you how to write unaware Facebook ads for your dropshipping business that can scale to $100,000 per month. And this is arguably one of the most underrated and slept on skill sets that any advertiser can master in 2025, which is how to write to the unaware level of awareness audience. And if you don't know what unaware is, don't worry. We're going to define those terms here. And then I'm also going to show you step by step exactly how I do this process and create unaware ads using AI. And it takes like literally less than 10 minutes. And no, there's not going to be any like hacks or anything. It literally just takes 10 minutes once you know what to look for and what to do. So before we dive into today's video, if you're new to the channel, my name's Anthony. Not only did I scale a branded dropshipping business to $100,000 in public with multiple people copying my ads and ripping my funnel and offers and everything, but I also, not many people know this, but if you're new to the channel, I actually used to work as a senior growth strategist, ex-senior growth strategist now. Some of the top advertising agencies. I help brands go from 6 figures a month to 7 figures, their first 7-figure months, from 7 to multiple 7 figures. I work with 8-figure companies, helping them scale profitably with paid media. And I also run a community that's linked in the description if you're interested, where we have officially passed over 7 figures in community combined revenue. So we've got absolute killers in here. Shout out to everybody who's posting their wins, hitting their first $1,000 days, $4,000 days, $450,000 per month. We've got guys hitting multiple 6 figures per month, complete beginners that are scaling to their first sales, and then ultimately $1,000 days. So shout out to everybody who's winning inside of Got Your Ecom. All right. Anyways, let's get into the main topic of this video. So first, we're going to define what unaware is, why it's such a huge competitive advantage if you can master it, and then I'm going to show you step by step exactly how I do this process with AI that only takes less than 10 minutes. So let's talk about unaware Facebook ads. Now, if you're somewhat familiar with dropshipping, Facebook ads, advertising, you've probably been introduced to awareness level, or the concept of market awareness. It is a concept that was first coined by Eugene Schwartz, who's the writer of a book called Breakthrough Advertising, also a very successful direct mail copywriter in his time. And he basically defined 5 levels of awareness that exist in your total addressable market. So your TAM, or your total addressable market, is basically anyone and everybody who could eventually buy your product or could be in the market for your product. And he basically said, of that TAM, we can divide it up into 5 levels of awareness. So at the very bottom, you could another way to visualize it would be like kind of in this funnel stage. And this might be a little bit easier to conceptualize, but basically at the bottom of the funnel, or the most aware audience, you have people that know your product, they know what problems it solves, they know you and your brand, and they know they want the product, they just haven't gotten around to buying it. And if you flip that and go to the other end of the spectrum, the complete opposite, you have people that are unaware. These are people that don't even know yet that they have a problem, or are not conscious of it yet. These are people that aren't comparing solutions. They're not looking at features and benefits. They literally don't even know that they have a problem, or they're not conscious of it yet. Now, you can imagine that another way to, or before we imagine anything, another way that might be easily to conceptualize this for a beginner is an unaware audience is like the coldest traffic possible, whereas your most aware audience is like your warmest, hottest traffic possible. And so your coldest traffic is generally going to be harder to convert. But as you can see in this visual, it's also typically the largest segment of your total addressable market. So if you can create ads that speak to this largest subset of your market, that essentially taps your ads into the largest audience possible. And so if you can pull from the largest subset of your TAM, or the largest audience possible, and you can create ads that will convert them, now you basically have a machine and a set of ads that will convert the largest total number of people available. If you combine that with the fact that 99% of dropshippers don't know what awareness levels are, and 99% of dropshippers are competing and creating ads that are designed for these lower levels of awareness, most commonly solution aware through most aware. Like, this is a good example of what I would classify as a most aware ad. This is an ad that already assumes that the customer is familiar with the brand, they're familiar with the product. And as you can see, we have an offer here. We've got 50% off. Again, this is an ad that's designed for somebody who knows they want this product. They just haven't gotten around to buying it yet. And that's where an offer static like this can come into play. And this is what the majority of dropshipping ads are going to try, or are going to be geared towards. Calling out problems, calling out pain points, listing out features and benefits. And so if you're doing what 99% of advertisers or beginner dropshippers are doing, chances are you're going to get 99% of their results. And I don't think you want 99% of dropshippers' results, because most of them are losing money and they're going to move on to SMMA or AI automation or whatever fucking business fad comes next. They're going to quit and they're going to move on to the next business thinking it's the business model, unwilling to accept the fact that they might just suck ass. So That being said, let's talk about what unaware is. So again, your unaware audience is the largest subset typically of your total addressable market. And because most advertisers are creating ads with features and benefits, and that's going to speak to solution aware and most aware audiences, that gives you a huge opportunity gap in the market for the advertiser who can create unaware ads and speak to people that their competitors are neglecting. Because again, there's all these people that are unaware. If your competitors are not creating ads that are speaking to them, nobody's speaking to them. And if nobody's speaking to them, that means there's no competition. And that is great for business. So what is unaware? Let's define some terms really quick. And all of this is pulled directly from Breakthrough Advertising because, he stated it very plainly. So unaware, before you can help your customers solve their problems, they must first be aware or conscious of the problem, or they need to first want to solve the problem, right? So when you're writing to somebody who's unaware, you are selling nothing. You're promising nothing. You're satisfying nothing. There's no mention of the product. There's no mention of the problem. They're tired of back pain, tired of neck pain, none of that bullshit. It's all about echoing an emotion or an attitude. Hidden fears and dreams and emotional states are the easiest place to start with when you're writing unaware ads. In Breakthrough Advertising, Schwartz gives many examples of really strong and effective starting points for unaware ads. But the two that I go to the most frequently, because they're the easiest to find in the research, are hidden fears and dreams and emotional states. So when we write the first sentence of our unaware ad, the very first sentence should have nothing to do with the product, nothing to do with the problem. It should just immediately bring to the forefront of someone's mind a hidden fear, a hidden dream, or some type of emotional state where if somebody reads that statement, they will agree with it or they will resonate with it. So where do you find these hidden fears and dreams and emotional states? The easiest place to find these is on Reddit. And if you do a quick Google search, well, actually, before we get into that, like how to actually create them, and then we'll get into the step-by-step with AI. So what I like to do is start by identifying what is the worst possible thing that could happen if your customer doesn't solve the problem your product solves. So they're not trying to solve the problem right now, but what is the worst thing that could happen? Okay. So if we think about like a cat water fountain, for example, okay, the worst thing that could happen is that the cat dies from dehydration, right? The problem my product solves is dehydration. And the absolute worst thing that could happen is your cat dies because they're not properly hydrated. So starting with that absolute worst, like doomsday outcome, next you want to see, okay, taking that absolute worst case scenario, how do people feel about that worst case scenario? So use your common sense, right? If your cat is going to die and you love your cat, that's obviously going to be a very sad thing. So if you do a quick search on Reddit, you'll be able to easily find people talking about how they feel towards this specific worst possible outcome. So again, this is r/cat advice, and this has nothing to do with cat water fountains. All I've done here is found a forum where someone's saying, I cry just thinking about the day I'll lose my cat. Does anyone have advice for putting this out of mind? So clearly this is the absolute worst case scenario, is losing your cat. And honestly, guys, why I say this in the document, which is once you've done the research, bring this into your LLM and begin writing your hooks. Often the hooks will write themselves. This is literally the hook that I would use for an unaware ad. I cry just thinking about the day I'll lose my cat. Okay. Contrast that with something like, are you tired of back pain? Are you tired of neck pain? Right? All we're doing is taking a hidden dream or a hidden fear, and we're using that as our headline. Right? So this is the first thing that our customer is going to see. I cry just thinking about the day I'll lose my cat. So immediately we've echoed a hidden dream or an emotion that someone will read and say, oh shit, I feel that too. Okay. Now we've captivated someone who is completely unaware of their problem by echoing an emotional state or a hidden fear or hope and dream, whatever. Okay. Now that we've hooked them in, the goal of the next typically 100 to 200 words is to actually hook somebody in and lead them into realizing that they have a problem. And this is where we're going to jump into Claude. Okay, so I'm inside of Claude now, and all I've told it is I want to write some unaware copy using this hook as the first sentence. Okay, I cry just thinking about the day I'll lose my cat. I say, write it from our customer's POV, use the process of gradualization as defined in Breakthrough Advertising, and lead our customers into realizing they have a problem. Make sure to include a UMP and a UMS, which is basically a unique mechanism of the problem, unique mechanism of the solution, which basically unique mechanism of the problem, or UMP, explains why 99% of solutions have failed because of this hidden underlying cause of the problem. And then the UMS basically says, hey, here is how our product uniquely solves that UMP. Then this is something that I've been doing more and more of, and I stole this from Nick Terrio, so shout out to his content, but make sure to write to an IQ of 90. So basically dumbing it down. And the whole point of this is not to be like patronizing or, I don't know, demeaning, right? The whole point of this is we want it to be scannable by everyone, right? We typically, when you write with Claude, it's going to fucking write like it's a telenovela, like literally like the most verbose. It's like when you have to expand your essays and you just start writing a bunch of random shit back in college, right? So you wanted to avoid that. Now, a couple of things that I already have loaded into this Claude project is, number one, I have a copy of Breakthrough Advertising, which you can easily find online. Just type in Breakthrough Advertising PDF. And I also have a customer avatar document as well loaded into this. Now, you don't need those. Well, you do need Breakthrough Advertising, but you don't really need the customer avatar document to start. If you have absolutely nothing, you can take a screenshot or a download of your competitor's landing page, and you can just start there. So I've already asked it to do that. Now I'm going to go ahead and retry this. And I want you to watch the copy that comes out of this thing. Okay. So let's see. It's because it's pretty freaky, like how good, especially Sonnet 4.5. I've been using this a ton. Definitely, if you have access to Sonnet 4.5, use it over Opus 4 for sure. Okay. All right. So perfect. Now I have everything I need. Let me write this unaware copy using the gradualization process from BA, including a UMP. Unique mechanism proposition. That is not exactly what I was going for, but let's just go. Let's see what the copy I came up with is. Okay. I cry just thinking about the day I'll lose my cat. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. She's been with me for 8 years now, and when I look at her sleeping on the couch or playing with her toy mouse, I just get this feeling in my chest, like I know this won't last forever. I tell myself not to think about it, but sometimes I can't help it. And then a few weeks ago, something happened that made it all feel way too real. Okay, so let's take this. Okay. We're not even going to read the rest of the copy. All right. Let's just bring this into our Google document here. Okay. Okay. I cried just thinking about the day I'll lose my cat. I know that sounds dramatic, but it's true. She's been with me for 8 years now, and when I look at her sleeping on the couch or playing with her mouse, I get this feeling in my chest. Anyways, so the opening of this copy, right? There's nothing about dehydration. There's nothing about kidney disease. There's nothing about UTIs. There's nothing about cats ignoring their water bowl. Nothing. All we're doing here, right, in this first section is, if we go back up to the top, echoing an emotion or an attitude. So this is an emotion or an attitude based on the worst possible thing that could happen if our customers don't solve this problem. And we know it's an actual emotion that our audience has because it's verified in the research. Okay. Obviously, this person is a little bit younger than we want to go. So it depends on your avatar. But overall, the person who has the sentiment at 26 is likely to have the same sentiment at like 56, right? Most people are going to get sad if they think about their cats dying, right? And so all we've done is echo an emotion, and we can lead this guy into thinking. It's like, hey, you're crying thinking about the day that you'll lose your cat. Well, here's a story about somebody who felt the same way, and we lead them into the problem of dehydration. So as you can see here, we don't actually introduce the problem or anything to do about dehydration in this case until several lines down, right? So, and then a few weeks ago, something happened that made it feel way too real. And if you read the actual rest of the copy, we're going to get into actually introducing the problem. So now we're in the vet's office, we're doing the checkup, we're realizing, and we're coming to this realization that, hey, my cat's not drinking enough water, right? So this is where we start to introduce the problem, right? So how much water does she drink every day? I had no idea. I mean, I fill her bowl every morning, but I never really paid attention to whether she actually drinks from it. Most cats don't drink enough, and a lot of owners don't notice until it's already a problem, okay? So the rest of this copy is going to, now that we've introduced this problem, we've taken this emotional sentiment and we've led it directly into the problem of a cat being dehydrated. And so now there's this connection in this person's mind. Okay, my deepest fear will come true if I don't solve this problem. And that is how you can speak to people who are unaware. And what's great with unaware is there is no shortage. It is probably because it is so broad and because it's the hardest to convert and because it's so open, there's so many different ways to create unaware ads and create unaware hooks. And it all starts with the research and finding these emotions and finding the words and finding the feelings that your audience uses. And then from there, you could easily use Claude to come up with more hooks. So we could say, come up with 10 more hook variations for completely new, unaware style ads, still leveraging the same desire, but just a different entry point. Okay. So from here, it's going to use that first hook, and it's going to come away with, well, let's see. Okay. That is a really good hook, man. Okay, my cat drinks from the toilet, and I used to think it was funny. Yeah, that's a good one. That's bad. But typically what I'll do is I'll start at 10 and then just go through and start like, I'll go through and just pick out the best ones that I like. Some of these are a little bit aggressive for Facebook ads, right? I typically don't want to use even the word died in my Facebook ads. I just learned about my cat always pause at her water before. That's a really good one, because if you actually read the research, I'm not going to show you the research, but I've actually done the research, and a lot of people question, like, why does my cat like hit the water or play with the water before they drink? Some of these are like just really awful. Like the one thing I wish I'd known before my cat turned 10, who gives a shit, right? I would probably say out of these, I really like this one. And then I really like this one. That's really, really good. I thought I was a good cat owner until last Tuesday. But anyways, that is how you can take research and how you can write unaware ads in literally less than 10 minutes. And what I would do is, you guys already know the strategy that I employ. I use what's called a native mini sales letter, where I take a native image and then I use copy just like this to run most of my ads. I really don't use any other format or strategy than this, and most of my community members don't use any other strategy than this. So guys, that is going to do it for today's video. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the content. As always, if you did, make sure to leave a like, comment, and subscribe. Let me know in the comments below if there's any topics or content that you want to see me cover next. My goal with this channel for the rest of 2025 is to upload at least once per day. And in order to do that, that's like 90 something videos. I need content ideas. So if you have any problems that you're going through, any topics you want me to cover, anything at all, let me know in the comments below, because there's a high probability that I will read that comment and make a video on it within that same like week, because I want to help you guys out and provide as much value as possible. And to do that, you guys need to let me know what you actually need help with. So that is going to do it for this video. Again, any and all resources that I use are going to be linked in the description of this video, including all of my AI prompts for doing research, coming up with ads, writing ads. All that stuff is going to be linked in the description of this video. And yeah, that's going to do it. I will see you in the next one. Peace.